understand the relationship of your CV relative to marketing and attorney referrals. This is a very important factor. Um, a, a CV will not get you referrals. And let me be very clear on these couple next phrases here. A curriculum vitae will not get you referrals. So let me briefly explain why that happens. Remember that when somebody buys a product or service, or let me use a direct example of an attorney referring personal injury patients, okay? Well, the very first thing that has to happen for that attorney to refer clients is there has to be a perceived need. If there's no perceived need, the attorney's not going to refer. So remember, there's 5 different categories of need. So you look at present pain, present pleasure, and curiosity. Those are the categories of need. Now, after there is a need, why we will buy a product or service and, or in this case, refer. After, in other words, now there's a need. So let's say the need exists now. Then after there's a need, then there's one of 5 reasons why we will choose where to buy a product or service, or in the attorney's case, where to refer a PI patient. And so the 5 categories, and they vary per industry, but the 5 categories that for referrals are, number 1 is trust in every category. So wherever there's the highest trust, and that includes referrals, that's who gets the business first in every industry. Number 2, and let me go through them and then let's itemize them out for the personal injury attorney. So in chiropractic, with a chiropractic patient, it's trust, proximity, price, service, and quality. Quality is the very last factor for the chiropractic patient. So with the personal injury attorney, it's still trust is number 1, referrals, authority. Number 2 is going to be proximity. That's the number 2 reason that an attorney will refer to a chiropractor over quality or service, because they know that's the number 1 factor that will destroy the case. And so if the patient is too far away and can't make the appointments, that's the number 1 thing that'll destroy and limit the case. So proximity is, now that's after a need. Then after proximity, now you're dealing with either cost issues aren't going to typically be too big. Typically that'll be the last of the 5. Unless you're the type of chiropractor that just has huge bills with bad documentation. And so you have bad ratios. The medicals are way out of line relative to the reimbursement. Now, they won't pick you because of it, but now that'll be a reason they won't use you when they find that out. So we're dealing with these factors: trust, proximity, price, quality, service. So number 2 is proximity. Number 3 are going to be the service factors, It's not going to be the quality factors. It's going to be the service factors. Can you get them in on time? Do you have transportation? Do you get the narrative reports on time? Things like that. Those are going to be the service factors, okay? Now, the 4th one of why an attorney will refer to a chiropractor now is quality. Curriculum vitae is under the category of quality when it comes to referring or buying products or services. But same with referrals. In other words, taking an action step. And so quality is going to be number 4 with chiropractic. Now, the reason it's number 4 behind service, one of the main reasons is the attorney can easily trump the chiropractor by getting the medical profession. So the attorney knows he can get the orthopedist for the disc problems. He can get the neurologist for the nerve problems, okay? So that's his go-to people, the orthopedist and the neurologist, or even maybe the neurosurgeon. That's the go-to person for most of the attorneys that are ignorant and are not aware of how soft tissue can be documented and be beneficial. So that's the reason quality is number 4. So when you look at why attorneys refer, number 1, 75% of the attorneys do not even use chiropractors for soft tissue injuries. And the main reason is they're just confused, just like the public's confused at what chiropractors do, because chiropractors claim they can do everything. So the biggest problem is there's no perceived need. So if you don't know how to do that, there's no reason for them to even look at your CV. Now, even if you establish need, you do not want to be pushing your CV as a primary, because it's the fourth reason that's important on their list. Number one is, are you relative to where their cases are? Number two is the service factors. There's about 6 service factors that are vitally important to the attorney. And the reason your CV isn't important at all is because number one, he can get the orthopedist for the disc, and they will always have greater authority in front of a blue-collar, 8th grade educated jury. Medicine always trumps chiropractic with authority, unless it's something that you've done personally, okay? But as far as the professions themselves. So that's number one. And then that's why they're not going to be paying too much attention to your CV. Need has to occur first, and then after the service factors, quality is number 4. Number 1, they got the go-to medical providers for the major problems that they see with the disc and the nerve. And they know that a medical provider's CV will easily trump the CV of a chiropractor in the court of law. That's just the way it is. Chiropractors have 67% negative name recognition. And so that's why your CV, and what I'm doing here is just putting it in perspective, because some people think that a loaded CV is what's going to get them referrals, and that's not the case at all. And one real simple example, I was talking to a doctor about this, is I say, well, do you know of the Ritz-Carlton as being high quality? And he says, yes. I say, do you plan on spending the night at the Ritz-Carlton tonight? And he says, no. And I say, why? And the reason is I don't need a hotel. And I'm right. I'm like, right, you don't have a need. And even if you did have a need, so, and remember, industry is different. Those 5 factors that I just talked about totally differ on every industry. The only thing that remains constant is trust. Trust is always number 1 in every industry. Okay? So in the chiropractic profession, after trust, the reason patients pick chiropractors, number 1, is proximity. Well, which is number 2 on the list. Well, it's the same with attorneys. Well, number 3 for the patient is cost and insurance. Is my insurance covered by it, and what do you cost? Well, number 3 for the attorneys is not cost, it's service factors. And then number 4 with patients is service factors. Number 4 with attorneys is quality. And number 5 with patients is quality. Number 6 with attorneys is cost. So that's how and why that breaks down.